Tonight I'm cooking at Ekland Safaris for their long-standing lodge manager Debbie. We've just got a couple of locals around the table. It's going to be super cool, super relaxed. Really looking forward to getting into the kitchen. Ekland Safaris is up in the Soutpansberg. I have a couple of really awesome food memories from growing up in this area. We never had access to all the fancy commodities that you had growing up in a city. What we did have access to was the perfect produce to cook with. I'm stopping off at the Wheelbarrow farm stall. This is a place I used to come as a kid. We used to call it the 4-hour pot plant because my mom would go in there, spend 4 hours in the nursery and come out with one pot plant. I'm meeting a friend of mine who used to be my boss. His name is Horst Dombrock. He's a local chef in the area. I hope he can show me around and we can pick out some really cool produce.
You know what was really amazing about the pub lunches was the fact that we got to use leftovers.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing people don't do at the moment. They don't utilize leftovers. People just tend to throw so much food away.
And people don't even know. And they still don't know today if you do it right.
That was a very, very keen lesson that we had to learn.
Horst had a massive impact on my food career. He's well known for being an absolute perfectionist, and a lot of that rubbed off on me.
Fresh herbs, fresh herbs, fresh herbs. This is what I'm after, Horst.
Basil to start with.
3 basil. We've got basil in the starter. It's the first time I've ever made you work for anything.
I'm still learning.
You're still learning, you're still learning.
There is just something about the produce that's grown in this area. It's all extremely raw, extremely organic, and I think it's because you often get 4 seasons in one day. Before I get cracking in the kitchen, I'm just going to whip myself something up really fast and simple, just to keep me fueled throughout the day.
I grew up just over those mountains over there, but I always tend to get quite a Tuscan feel when I'm in this part of the country. So I'm going to whip up a Tuscan bread salad. If you ever find yourself with any leftover sort of ciabatta or any other style of bread, make the salad. It's an absolute winner. It's not only bread, there's going to be other components in there as well. Just grab yourself some good extra virgin olive oil. As soon as that olive oil hits that stale bread, starts to suck it up, we're going to be adding tomatoes to this. So tomato's best friend, a nice bit of vinegar, just a balsamic, a little bit of salt in there. I've got some of my stale bread that I've toasted as well, just in a pan. Just take your other little croutons, break them in. Beautiful heirloom tomatoes. So I think these are tiger tomatoes. You can go with red, orange, yellow, whatever you like. The perfection of this tomato is in its imperfection. Tomatoes' other best friend, the humble basil. So straight through, just roll a sharp knife through them. In with your basil. Second to last, the red onion. Fine little shave on the mandolin. Not too much, it's the perfect amount. You don't need to be too oniony. And now you can get in with your hands. Fiery chili. I like the super hot green chilies for this. Got a couple of these really cool garlic chips. They're quite fiery, so I just like to crumble them in last second. I don't lose their crunch either. And then fine little flick. Remember, this is rustic refinement, so just chuck it in. A couple of last little garlic chips. Beautifully plain. Absolutely perfect.
Ekland Lodge has an awesome feel to it. It's almost hidden away against this rock face. All you can see is bushveld, all you can see is baobabs, and it just takes your breath away. I'm kicking off tonight's menu with a beautifully velvety smooth soft polenta, topping that with a tomato and vanilla chutney, going into a twice smoked lamb shoulder and glazed sweet potatoes, finishing off with a cashew-nut praline and lemon confit. First things first, I'm gonna get some milk on, work on a sort of
2-to-1 ratio on my polenta. Nice amount of fresh thyme, straight in. Nice bulb of garlic, straight into the milk. Good amount of salt. Polenta can be quite bland, so get that infused milk heavily seasoned. Another pan on. Maybe blanching some tomatoes in here. Heavily seasoned water again. Beautiful organic lamb shoulder here. I'm gonna smoke this lamb shoulder twice. Gonna give it one first initial smoking with some tea, some sugar and some rice. Just this little season on the lamb first. Just salt and pepper. Find the pepper works quite well with the tea. Beautiful floral notes on that black pepper. It's an oolong tea. You can use a lapsang soussong. You can use a rooibos, I suppose. Any rice you feel like using, you can use a basmati or risotto rice. Equal amounts in quantity. So handful of rice, handful of sugar, handful of tea. The rice actually sticks to the sugar and the sugar sticks to the rice. Forms an amazing tea smoke. Straight into your hot tray. So wait for that to come up to smoke. See, it starts almost immediately. Let's pop 2 little things down like that. Like that. Lamb shoulder straight on here. Fat side down. Double layer of tin foil. We don't want any of that smoke coming out. Try and tuck it in as best as you can. At this point, you can turn your heat off. So we're giving that its first initial smoke, 20-25 minutes. Gonna dice some tomatoes for a chutney. Let's give them a little snip. Beautiful local tomatoes. While this water warms up slightly, gonna get 2 caramels on. One for my cashew-nut praline, one for my tomato chutney. It's a little bit of caster sugar, straight in. A bit more sugar. For the tomato chutney, a nice vanilla pod straight in. Tiny bit of salt as well. Amazing aroma as soon as that vanilla starts to heat up. One of my first jobs in the professional kitchen, peeling tomatoes. Tends to be one of those jobs you palm off. Tomatoes out. One caramel's ready. You want to catch it as soon as it starts to bubble up. Bubble, 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 bubble. Cashew nuts, straight in. Want a gentle toast on that. Pop these straight down onto a non-stick mat. That can chill. Turn your attention to the next caramel. So your tomato skins just come straight off. Tomato skins and black pepper are apparently totally indigestible by the human digestive system. That's why we tend to always get rid of the tomato skins. Beautiful dark caramel, bittersweet, straight in. As soon as it goes in, those tomatoes are going to release some liquid, seize that sugar up a little bit. As it boils, it will totally dissolve. So let that tick away, reduce it a little bit down. Check on our lamb. Just take some chicken stock. You could use lamb stock as well. Find that the chicken stock has a beautiful neutral flavor. Works well with that tea smoke. It's gonna cook for about 4.5, 4 hours, depending on the size of your lamb. I like to use the shoulder with a bone in as well. A bone lends massive amounts of flavor. Salt and pepper in there as well. Keep that flavor going. Put a bit of garlic. As you can see, it hasn't cooked the lamb at all, so we're gonna slowly braise it, about 150 for about 4 hours. Checking it every now and then, having a little peek. Just nestle it down. Our tomato chutney, Needs a tiny bit of straining. At this point we can fish out the vanilla. It's done its job. Get that in there. Always hold some concass back and just fold it through. I don't want to put this in the fridge. I'm going to serve it perfect room temperature. One job out the way. Milk for the polenta is beautifully infused. Classic potato dauphinoise flavors, but I'm going to use them for the polenta dish. 2-to-1 ratio on this polenta. You can't just chuck it all in at once, because if you chuck it all in at once, it tends to seize up. As you can see, it starts to thicken up immediately, as far as you want to take it. Our polenta's going to tick away over there. I'm going to do a confit lemon. This we're just going to take the confit concept of slow cooking in a liquid, but do it with a sugar syrup. I'm going to flavor that sugar syrup with a little bit of star anise. Plain old caster sugar. And just some water. Just cover it. Don't bring it up to a raging boil. We just want to dissolve that sugar. Time to get our lemons into it. Doesn't matter if you get the odd pip in there. It's all going to come out later. Gonna cook this down to almost like a chutney. Pop it back on a low heat. Okay. Garnish for the lamb, or accompaniment as I call it. Some orange flesh sweet potatoes. Gonna get a nice glaze on these. That lamb has probably got another hour and a half left. These probably take 2 hours. What I'm lucky enough to have, some lamb fat that I had from a lamb that I did. Salt. Rest of our star anise, just evenly distributed. A couple of chili flakes, not too fiery these, so you can be quite liberal. Tiny dusting of cinnamon. This is gonna be that flavor we're looking for. Brings that little bit of sweetness. To help that glaze along, so you're gonna need some butter. Salted, unsalted, doesn't really matter. Some demerara sugar. Last little sprinkle of ground nutmeg. At the moment, it all looks a bit loose, but when it melts, give them a really nice glaze, nice and sticky. Final check on my polenta. Nice, nice, nice. Chuck in some cold butter to luxuriate it. A little grating of pecorino, sheep's milk cheese. I don't know why. Tend to have gone off Parmesan a little bit. Much more a pecorino person these days. Not too much. It's fine. One more job out the way. Let's take our cashew nut brittle. You don't need to break it up too fine. The food processor will do that for us. Treat. Just want to shape these into little discs. Going to layer them with a bit of vanilla chantilly, pop them in the oven, about 160, 170 degrees. Sugar's going to melt. When we take it out, we're able to pull that off. Beautiful fine sheet of nutty caramel. Always make sure, if you have a fan-assisted oven, turn the fan off. You just want it on bake. You don't want those blowing around. Together with that lamb, I want to do a nice gremolata. Basically a parsley vinaigrette dressing. Nice amount of garlic. Tiny bit of chili. Just use the same grater you use for the garlic. No need to wash it, it's absolutely fine. It's all going in the same place. Flat leaf parsley. You can use the curly stuff. A couple of stalks in there, doesn't really matter. Let's grab some salt. Tiny bit of olive oil. Just brings it all together nicely. A little bit more. just to form a tight dressing. Smell those pralines almost ready. Let those chill there and they'll slide off beautifully. Got a rocket pesto up next. Always like to start my pestos with garlic first, then the salt. Let's give it a quick whiz. Gonna keep this one nut free. And with the leaves, you can be a little bit harsh with them, you can bruise them a little bit, because we are gonna blend them up, obviously. Grated pecorino. You can use a Parmesan flavored oil and leave the pecorino out for a dairy-free option. Just chill out there for a while. That's what we're looking for. Bone should slide straight out. And just take nice chunks of your lamb. Cut the majority of those big bones out. Leave a couple of smaller ones in there, just to hold it together.
I've designed this menu with an extra couple of twists and turns because I really want to treat the local farmers. They farm for the future to make sure that generations to come will be able to enjoy the Ekland experience.
Beauty of having your lamb on this rack. You can move it around. Another sort of lick of smoke, nothing too hectic. Catch a tiny bit of that smoke. Contain it for a little bit. Beautiful natural juices from that lamb. Get that last bit of flavor out by pushing it through. Sweet potatoes are nicely glazed. Always let them sit for a little bit. Leave them in the tray, let them soak up any of that fat that's in there. Get your ingredients down that you're gonna need. Start with a nice, decent dollop of polenta in the middle. 4 ladies, 4 guys tonight, so 4 portions will be slightly bigger. What you wanna do is get that in there, just make a nice little well so that you have somewhere for this to sit. You wanna just put a tiny dollop in the middle, and then a little bit around the outside as well. Nice. Just off center. Got some beautiful local pancetta here. Pop them in. And then all we want is a tiny bit of this over the top. Your first course tonight is soft polenta, so it's basically millipap. It's the same thing, it's ground corn. On the side is a tomato and vanilla caramel, and just some fresh sheep's milk pecorino over the top. Enjoy!
En dis hoekom ek sê as hy net so 'n bietjie kan toon dan ook smaak. Ja. Dit is baie makliker om minder te eet.
Just before I carve this lamb, the sweet potatoes are piping hot. So it's quite nice to cool them down with a little bit of just double cream yogurt, a couple of chili flakes, pretty much like a tzatziki without any cucumber. With that lamb crackling. Some generous slices. As you cut into that meat, gently opens up. Get those faint little hints of smoke coming through. Take one of your sweet potatoes, give it its final little roll. Place it down bang in the middle. And all you want to do is basically flatten them down, open them up a little bit. It's a beautiful sight. Sweet orange flesh. Straight on with beautiful pieces of semi-smoked lamb. Final bit of crackling. Perfect little shards of lamb fat. That gremolata, freshening things up, bringing the whole dish to life. Final little dollop on the side. Tiny bit of that gremolata oil. And top it off. Just dot that around. Almost splitting that oil. Don't want it to touch the yogurt. Now that's a lamb dish I'm proud to serve. And then you have a twice smoked lamb shoulder, smoked in tea and then in thyme. On top of that, you got a gremolata, which is a sort of parsley vinaigrette with a little bit of chili in there, and a yogurt and chili dip on the side.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
It looks nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this is good. It's absolutely
So with this mille-feuille, just want a classic chantilly. It's a lightly sweetened cream. Very important, your cream is cold, whips a lot faster, seems to whip a lot better. As soon as it gets to this stage, start thinking about adding our vanilla. In with the icing sugar. Nice subtle creme chantilly. Sticking with our nut theme, a little bit of Frangelico in there or any of your favorite liqueurs. Just pop it through at the end. We don't want to take it further than that. With our lemons, just strain them out of that syrup. Remove all the little bits of star anise. Just pop them out. A little run through with a knife. A little of that confit lemon on there, beautifully supported by that fluffy pillow of chantilly. Just a nice little rocher. Just pop your warm spoon in there. And that's a nice little sweet ending to a perfect meal. Last but not least, it is cashew-nut praline. Then you got bits of confit lemon, which is basically a sort of lemon marmalade. And in between is purely and simply just vanilla chantilly, so it's just a little bit of whipped cream. A rendition of a classic in the bush.
Looks lovely.
That's what we are.
There you go.
Just wrapping up after a busy service. I often think back to some of my teachers calling me a dreamer. I mean, I never even took home economics, but I knew that I had a massive passion for raw ingredients and where they came from, and this would take me to where I needed to be.